Welcome to the Americus podcast. My name is John Schroeder, and today I am joined by Nikka Harris Moore. Nikka is a fitness instructor for HappyBody Studio, and she's worked in the medical field for 28 years. Nikka, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Well, it's great to be here, Mr. John. I would like to thank you for the invite. It's a great honor.
That's great. Well, so we have you on the show. I just talked to you last week. So again, I'm new here to the area, about 6 months in, and I was talking with Miss Shirley. She was giving me some contacts, and she gave me your name, so I gave you a call, and just really enjoyed our first interaction together on the phone. Your energy, your entrepreneurship, the things that you're doing right now. It's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of a community where people are taking risks, doing new things, becoming vulnerable more and more, taking sacrifices. So I wanted you to come on the podcast so we can hear a little bit of your story. So tell me a little bit about kind of growing up, being born and raised in Americus, Georgia.
Okay, to begin with, I'm 48 years old. And all I know is Americus, Georgia. Yeah. My parents are American native. My grandparents were American native. And my great-grandparents was also born and raised in Americus. My father, who is now almost 70, served 20 years in the U.S. Army. He is now retired. He did his last 10 years in Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay.
Right up in Columbus, just straight up the road.
That's right.
He always taught me to do the best you can and to be the best you can. No matter what you do the best you can and be the best you can. So that has been my motto for years, ever since a small child, you know. Yeah. But he traveled so much, and my mother, she somewhat traveled with him a couple of years back. Okay. So as a child, I spent a lot of time with my great-grandparents. You know, me and my brother, it's just me and him. We didn't travel very much. So we.
Now, what was the age difference between you and your brother?
I'm 5 years older than him.
Okay.
I'm 5 years older than him. But I spent a lot of time around older people.
Okay, yeah.
Which were my great-grandparents. So they taught me the ropes. They taught me a lot. So as you would say, I kind of got an old-fashioned heart. Some people would tell me, but I learned a lot from them. I learned how to be responsible. I learned how to be independent, and they always taught me to treat people like you want them to be treated. Yeah. But as a child, I'm gonna say starting from the age of 4, I wanted to be a firefighter.
Wow.
I wanted to put out fires. Yeah. You know, that was just so exciting to me. But as time went by, I think I grew up into the age of 7, I changed again.
Yeah.
I wanted to join the Marine Corps.
Okay.
I wanted to be a U.S. Marine. You know?
Yeah.
So from that point on, by the age of 10, I decided I wanted to be a doctor. But of course, we both know that didn't take place. So the closest thing I got to becoming a doctor was at the age of 15. I went to a doctor's office with my mother in Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
And there was this lady just walking around with a tray. So I followed her. And I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, what are you doing?" She said, "I'm a phlebotomist. I draw blood." And so from that day, I was intrigued by that lady and that tray. And I saw up in my mind that that's what I wanted to do from that point at the age of 15.
Wow.
So at the age of 15, I had my career in my mind, you know. So as time passed, I graduated from high school at the age of 18.
Okay, so you graduated from
Americus High here in Americus.
Yeah.
So therefore, I went from the high school to Dorton College in Albany, Georgia. They had a phlebotomy program there at the time.
Okay.
I completed that phlebotomy program, got a job at Sumter Regional Hospital as a phlebotomist. That was back in 1994.
Okay.
And I worked there up until now.
Okay.
I worked there for 28 years.
Wow.
As a phlebotomist.
Now let me ask you this. Okay, so growing up, being 15 and saying, okay, this is what I want to do. What was the kind of the consensus of your peers, of other people? Were they just like, what is that? You know, were they rooting for you? Or were they just like, oh, this is just a thing, this is a phase? Or I mean, did you have, were people excited for you?
Well, most of them will always tell me, well, you're not going to make any money doing that. They don't make money. You can't live off of that salary. But I ignored them because I already had in my mind that I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And when I first started it, no, I wasn't making very much money. But it was the love for it. I mean, the love that I was doing things to help people.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're drawing blood, they're running tests to help people, you know.
Yeah.
Testing them for different type of diseases, different type of health issues. So in my heart, I knew I was helping someone.
Wow.
So that is what gave me the energy and the motivation to want to keep doing it. That's why I did it for so long.
Yeah.
So the longer I did it, the more money I made. Yeah. But I'm just going to be truthful. In the beginning, there was no money to be made. But it was in my heart to do it. It was the love for it. It was the love that I had for doing what I do.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's amazing. That's good. So you get to Darton. You're working through all that, and are you getting to meet new people and kind of getting a chance to again kind of step outside of even what you knew, like with your grandparents and your family.
Right.
Were you running into just different things being in college? And I know Albany's close, but it's still got its own little space.
Yes, I met all kind of people, different type of people, different races. I want to know more about being diverse, getting to meet all type of people. I met people with different personalities, different attitudes, and I learned from dealing with so many people how to deal with people.
Yeah.
How to deal with people. On a day-to-day basis, everyone is not going to be the same. You're going to meet people that come in having bad days.
Yeah.
I wanted to be that person to help someone have a good day.
Yeah.
To put a smile on that person's face.
Yeah.
And I learned from being in my career that no matter what I'm going through in my life, it was not that person's fault.
Yeah.
I never took my problems to work in my personal life.
Yeah. So tell me where that comes from. Tell me where that motivation comes from.
That motivation comes from wanting to be great. Just be great. Just live a healthy life and be great and treat people right. I've experienced where I see other people mistreat people. I didn't like the way that made me feel. I was always taught to treat people the way that I wanted to be treated. Yeah. So that's where I live on,
Yeah.
That's what I live on, And even if they don't treat me right, they have to give an account for what they do,
Yeah.
I believe in treating people right. I love good people. I love to meet people. I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I've never been a front street type of person, but when it comes to treating people right and doing what I can to help people, I believe in that. My passion is my motivation to do that. It motivates me to put a smile on someone's face. My father always told me, every day you need to make someone smile.
Yeah.
Every day, you need to try to do a good deed for someone.
Yeah.
And I love the feeling that I have when I do that. I just love to see someone else smiling.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, with that kind of attitude and that motivation, you were a really good friend to hang out with.
Right.
Being with other people and they're trying to figure out kind of who they are, what they need to do, and you're there with that just as an encouragement to those that you meet. I know that you are a blessing to people as you just kind of walk through life. So that's really huge. So you go to Darton and then you come back here and you start. What was your first day like? Just being there, do you remember that? Do you remember that experience?
Yes, sir, I do. It was fear. I was fearful of the unknown. Not knowing what type of people I would come in contact with. Not knowing if they would be nice to me. Not knowing if they even wanted to train me to do the job, because my experience was, I had bad experience where people didn't want to, help me or teach me. So I learned from that. I knew how it made me feel when I had those experiences. Yeah. So that taught me not to make the next person feel that way because it's a bad feeling. We all have to learn. No matter what job that you start, you're going to have to be trained. It doesn't matter how much education that you have. When you start a new job, you're still going to need to be trained on how to do that job, you know. So it was being fearful of the unknown, not knowing how my day would go. I went in with a positive attitude, but it's just the fear that I had. Will they like me? Will we get along? I was going to do my part, but I was only back then 21 years old, and I was fearful. But it worked out fine because I stayed in that one place for 28 great years. And I still help out there some. You know, it was a great place to work. But as time went by, Mr. John, I knew how to deal with every type of person that I came in contact with. I just learned to keep wearing my smile, you know, no matter what. Wear my smile, think positive, and help them to think the same way that I think, you know. I mean, I can't change a person's heart, but I knew that I was helping change lives, you know, making a difference, you know, when it comes to people's health, you know. And some people would make me feel like, well, you're just drawing blood, you're not doing anything. But I didn't think of it that way because I knew that that was important. We're running tests, we're drawing blood so tests can be ran to help people. You know, so that's how I thought about it. You know, that didn't bother me at all, not one bit, because I was doing what I wanted to do.
Well, and I love the fact that, you know, when we all go through obstacles, we all suffer in some way. Not everyone, or most people don't understand us or our experiences and our lives, and they don't come across like they want to. And yet you use that, and you didn't allow that to become bitterness to you. You learned to be a blessing to people. And that's really, really difficult because, I mean, we live in a world and a society that's like, listen, you know, the only way you're going to get respect is to give respect. And you're saying, even when I'm not getting it, I want to give it in such a way that I'm not waiting for you to do anything for me because I know who I am.
And also, I thought about, well, if I be kind to this person, maybe later on they'll go off and think about, now she was really nice to me, but I was really ill towards her, you know. Because there have been times that I might have slipped once or twice, and I would think about it. And I would go back and apologize. Sir, I'm so sorry if I seemed a little bitter. It doesn't cost you anything to apologize, just like it doesn't cost you anything to wear a smile.
That's huge, and we need more of that.
Especially with
all the conflict that's going on, and just the bipartisanship. I mean, there's so much going on in our world right now. We need a lot more of that.
We do. We need love in this world. We need to spread love, spread joy, and have peace within our hearts.
That's
sir.
huge. That's huge.
Sir.
So, all right, so you're in your first day, and you're dealing with all those real emotions, and you begin to kind of get some traction, kind of get used to the space. What was that like? You know, like you said, just kind of share that experience of just doing what you love to do. I mean, if you have a particular story, or I mean, just anything that you would want to share.
Well, I will tell you this. The first week that I was there, the lady that was training me, she sent me out on my own on the very first week. So I was very afraid to do that. I didn't feel confident enough about doing it. But she said to me, you can do it. You've got this. And that's how you need to think. So from that point on, that's what I did. Even though when I went up, I didn't come back with anything. But I did it. You know, it was getting the feeling of that I'm going to do this, whether I get it or not, you know. So that was my biggest fear, feeling like I couldn't do it at the time. But over the years, I feel like I became one of the best, you know. And so now I'm teaching others how to do it.
All right, so give me some clarity here, because you're using the medical term. Are you the person that if I have to get blood drawn, that you're the one that sticks me?
Right.
Okay.
Right. I'm
okay.
that person.
All
Right.
All right. I need that person to smile a lot.
Right.
And I always thought, I was like, I wonder if there's like this just inner competition of like, I just want to do it one time. I want to do it, because with some people, I understand it's a little bit harder to find the vein or to do it. So some people can really, be, they just, it's a little bit harder.
Right. So that's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's not gonna just be pop. So you're gonna have some challenges throughout the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I've heard that there'll be some people that'll just say, you ain't gonna be able to find mine because and you're just like, watch
you know
me.
what? All the time. But you know what? I don't say that to them.
Yeah.
I just think it in my mind. We'll see. And that was the joy. I love the challenge because I got that all the time.
Yeah,
I'm hard to steal. You're not going to be able to get me. And I said in my mind, okay.
That's great. Oh, wow. So I love it. So you did that for 28 years right here. Tell me a little bit. I'd love to kind of get your thoughts on just Americus in general. We talked about kind of growing up in Americus and trying to find your place in Americus. Do you feel at that time, at 21 years old, that you were in your element and that you felt like you were being accepted and being drawn in and saying, hey, this is what you can do for the rest of your life? How did that feel, or were there obstacles?
Well, at that time, my head was all over the place.
Okay.
I was still young at 21, so I was still trying to figure out, is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? Mm-hmm. That was a struggle.
Yeah.
But the more I did it, and my heart began to be there,
mm-hmm.
And that's where I wanted to be, I would have people tell me, you can do better. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Mm-hmm. I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm happy here. I'm at my happy place. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing that you can do to change that.
Yeah.
So once I got comfortable and I began to love what I was doing, mm-hmm. that's how I made the decision. Because like I said, I was only 21. I had so much time ahead of me mm-hmm. to focus on other things.
Yes.
But my mind never led me in another direction. Wow. I even did insurance exams for 20 years. Mm-hmm. I was an independent contractor. Wow. I had to draw blood doing that. Mm-hmm. I met a lot of different people because I did a lot of traveling. Yeah. Made a lot of good money, because I was an independent contractor. I did contract work up in Fort Benning, Georgia, for the U.S. Army. People would always say, there's just no money to be made. It all depends on who you work for. Mm-hmm. There's money to be made.
Yeah.
So I'll tell anybody, like I tell my students, don't let anyone tell you that this is not what you want to do when your mind is made up. Mm-hmm. Of course, we all can do better. There's always room for progress. Mm-hmm. But when your mind is made up, mm-hmm. don't ever let anyone talk you out of doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
So that's how I made the decision. Mm. My heart got in it.
Yeah.
At first, it was just my mind. Mm-hmm. But when I fell in love with what I was doing, I knew that was the place for me.
Yeah.
So that's where I stayed.
Love it.
And it was stability. I stayed in one place.
Yeah.
For 28 years.
Yeah.
That's
big.
It was changes along the way, but I grew with those changes.
Yes.
You know?
And a lot of people will remember you, right?
They do.
28 years, that's a lot of new interactions with people throughout.
I run into people now because I'm not there as much anymore. Mm-hmm. What happened? Mm-hmm. I don't see you anymore.
Yeah.
We miss you.
That's awesome. So you were telling me before we started that you also work for South Georgia Tech, correct?
Yes, so I'm currently the phlebotomy instructor there, and it's a great place to work. I've been there for the last 5 years. Okay. And actually, the last 2 years, South Georgia Technical College was voted one of the best community colleges in the state of Georgia.
Wow, that's great.
It is. It's a great atmosphere, great place to work, and I love the students. I love them.
I love it. Well, having you be there to encourage them, not just within their the training in their school, but just with their attitude in life, I think it's contagious.
And I always tell them, stay positive. We're going to be like one big family in this class.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to love one another. We're going to help one another. And we're going to stay positive.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Right.
Well, tell me a little bit about what you currently do now as well. So in addition to working as a teacher at the tech school, you also started your own fitness?
Yes, I currently have a business here in Americus. I've been in business for about 3 years now.
Okay.
The name of that business is HappyBody Studio.
Okay.
Okay. Not only do people want happy bodies, but they want a happy heart. They want to feel good. They want to look good at the same time. So when you're feeling good, you're happy, right? So that's how I came up with the name of my business.
Okay.
Okay. So I am a certified personal trainer.
Okay.
I'm also a master trainer. I'm certified in group fitness. I'm certified in yoga. I'm a certified kickboxer instructor.
Okay.
I'm certified in step aerobics. And I just finished up my master's in health education. I also have a bachelor's in exercise science.
That is incredible.
Where that came into play was...
tell me how all that happened.
A few years back, I was in the gym, and I was happy in the gym. This was approximately 17 years ago. But I'm going to say about 11 years ago, in 2011, I had a daughter. And I gained about 95 pounds with my daughter. I fell into a slump. I developed high blood pressure. I was headed to diabetes. And, you know, I was a little depressed because I have never been that big. I wasn't feeling good. And I just knew I had to do something about it. You know, I was in the gym prior to that. But that's what really made me get into what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to feel better. And when I did it for myself, I just felt the need to want to do it and help others become the best version of themselves. It is now my passion. It is now what I love to do. It fuels me. It gives me that energy. It keeps the smile on my face.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my job, but doing what I do now is my passion.
So, well, tell me a little bit about, it really is important. Diet, exercise, sleep, all of those things. Just with your background, your experience, tell us a little bit about how that does affect a person in good and bad ways, and why is it good to create a rhythm of healthy lifestyle?
Because, well, when you're not getting enough rest, for one, you don't feel good. The body does not function properly without enough rest. The brain does not function properly without enough rest. If you're not eating healthier, you don't feel good. All those elements cause you not to feel well. And people seem to think, the first thing when you think of as being unhealthy, it's an obese person, a person that's huge in size.
Yeah.
When you look at a person that's huge, people want to say, well, she's unhealthy. That's not necessarily true, because you can take a person that's big in size and sit them next to a very small person, and the smaller person lab works come out looking a whole lot better than the person that's big. Obesity is just a factor in being unhealthy. One of the main factors, but it's more to being unhealthy than just being obese. Diabetes and high blood pressure, high cholesterol plays a great role in being unhealthy. When you don't get the proper rest, you feel like, ooh, like you just can't go. And it's important that you take care of yourself. You know. And
Absolutely.
Right.
And then if you feel that less energy, and then you're feeding your body with not good nutrients or whatever it is, it just adds to it, right?
It slows you down.
Yeah.
It slows you down. You don't feel good at all. And people seem to think that you got to exercise like a beast to be healthy.
No.
But it's been a proven fact that it's 80% of what you eat and 20% of exercise. Consistency is the key to anything.
Yeah.
Most people, they start stuff and they don't finish. They don't stay consistent with whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And that is always the key, staying consistent.
Yes.
You know, and when I did it for myself, I felt the need to do it for others.
Yes.
You know, and I love doing it. And I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And I was always taught, do what you love and do the best you can. And that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. It is really key, because I've had seasons where I was more healthy in my diet and my exercise and my eating, and I could think clear, right? I could function better, and I felt as if I could do more. Right. And then you have, but on the other side of that is when I'm in my kind of unhealthy season. Let's just say Thanksgiving comes up and we don't start from Thanksgiving to New Year's, right? And then that's the New Year's resolution. We start back on when we get in those unhealthy seasons, it doesn't just affect our body, it affects our minds, and helping not just us personally, but like you said, you're doing it in such a way that you care about other people and how they feel, adults, but also kids. You know, we think about our kids, we think about maybe sometimes even like their attitudes, maybe they're just their aggression. Maybe it's just like, hey, let's make sure that they're sleeping well, that they're eating well, right? Right. Because that helps them to process in their mind the things that are necessary. I mean, it's hard. Life is hard, but let's make sure there's certain things that we can control, right? Right.
But I tell people, you don't have to cut out everything that you love. Just don't eat so much of it. Yeah. You know? I mean, just don't eat so much of it.
Yeah.
Just be cautious about it. And the number one thing that I hear all the time, I can't do it. So I address that with, I don't have the time. That's the major excuse.
Okay.
But we have time to do everything that we want to do.
That's right.
You make time to do what you want to do.
So it's a want issue.
It's a want issue. You got to ask yourself that one question. How bad do I want this? Do I want this bad enough to work for it? Am I disciplined enough to do this? It's all about discipline.
Yeah.
We as females, we go get our nails done. We go to the beauty salon. We go shopping. We make time for everything. Even with the males, we go to the barbershop.
Yeah.
We go play golf. We go to the games. We do everything that we want to do. So why not make time for you? Yeah. To work on you. Yeah. To become the best version of you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So you went and got all of these additional certifications, right?
Yes, sir. I did.
That's a lot. When did you have time to do all that?
It took me 6 years to do it.
Okay.
It did not happen overnight. It was a process.
Yeah.
Once I made up my mind that I wanted to do it. Yeah. That's when I started. The first thing I did was pray about it. Okay. And I went from there. You know, I put my trust and my faith in God. And I went from there. I mean, it was a hard road to travel, but I made it. Yeah. You know, I made it. And I thank him for it. Yeah. Because it was a struggle, because I was trying to work full time, take care of my family, and go to school. Yes. And study. So it was a struggle. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to admit, I skipped my knees and my arms up a little, but I made it. The road was not easy. I had a son that was in college, you know, so I was trying to help him along the way. And that was my number one thing, to get him out of school and to get him where he could take care of himself. Wow. So that happened. Yeah. He gave me everything I asked for. Love it. You know? And so now here I am. It's like he said to me, I gave you the platform. Now it's time for you to dance.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how that, where does that mindset go? Because we've talked a lot about just the sacrifices that you've made, the people that have influenced you. You just spoke about your faith in God to give you the purpose and the passion that you have to do what you do. If someone was looking to kind of start their own business or do what they're passionate about, What would be some words of encouragement that you would give them?
I would tell them, if it's what you want, speak it into existence. And believe that you can do it, because you can do anything. Anything that you want to do. But you gotta stay focused. When you're trying to do something, there's gonna be all kind of distractions. There are gonna always be people saying, hey, that's not gonna work. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But the first thing you need to do is make up in your mind that it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And stick to it.
Yeah.
And you can do anything that you want to do. There's just no wishing without working. You have to work for it. It's not going to be easy.
Yes.
Nothing is going to just fall in your lap. You're going to have to put in the work.
Yeah.
That would be my advice to them.
Well, I will tell you, and I completely agree with this. I'm teaching my son right now. He's about to be 12 years old, and we're trying to help him understand. We want to kind of give him kind of a 10-year goal of, we want you to pursue purpose over pleasure. Not that pleasure is necessarily bad in and of itself, but there's a mindset that you need to have.
Right.
Because you're going to have to choose the long-term things that don't always look the best, and everyone's going to be like, why are you doing that? But you're going after something. And I know we live in social media, we live in kind of the next reel of a video or so the idea is just the here and now. So how do you encourage people? Don't just choose the here and now. Don't just choose the thing that's easy for you. Because the culture is telling you, hey, if you can't have it in the next 5 minutes, it's probably not worth it. And so how do you continue to encourage yourself to motivate yourself to keep going, even when you could slow down for just a second and kind of just, do your thing? How do you keep yourself focused?
I set goals and I set boundaries for myself. I just say, I'm going to do this a year from now. Then I'm going to do this a year after that. I just set goals.
Yeah.
I set visions and goals for myself. And I used to wonder that at some point in time, it's like I was chasing a vision that couldn't nobody see but me. But I had to realize my vision is not for anybody else to see. So I set goals.
Yeah.
And I just knock them down one by one. Yeah. Sometimes things are not going to always go according to your plans. So that's why I don't make plans. I set goals. And I set goals from level to level. Okay, this goal didn't fall through. What can I do to complete this goal?
So tell me a little bit about Americus, as far as where do you see it going? What are you encouraged by? If we could look into the next 5 to 10 years, where do you see Americus going?
I see growth here. We're growing as we speak.
Yeah.
We got the new Chick-fil-A coming.
Come on.
We just got the chicken Popeyes. We just recently got KFC. I see growth.
Yeah.
We got the Smoothie King.
Yeah.
I see Americus growing. In the next 5 years.
Yes.
I see us being way bigger than what we are now.
Yeah. How do you see the students that you get a chance to kind of teach and talk to? Are they from Americus? And if so, do they feel like they want to kind of stay and like help and see that? Or if they're coming from another place, did they see Americus as a place to stay and help invest their time?
Most of them want to move to big cities. They do not want to settle in Americas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of everybody that I come in contact with, they want to move to bigger cities, bigger towns.
Yeah.
Bigger population.
Yeah.
They're not small town people.
Yeah. You just tell them, say, well, would always love to have you back.
Right. But they don't have plans to stay here.
Yeah.
Like my son, the first thing he did was up and left. He's in Cleveland, Ohio now.
Okay.
He's in school. He's in grad school.
Well, yeah, and just as a means to continue, because like you said, it's growing. There's opportunities here to start something wonderful and good. Big cities have a lot of things that are already happening, and they could be a part of starting something that is happening in a big city, and help this city to thrive. And we would love to have those students stay here and invest, obviously.
Now, I think this would be a great place for a person who's looking to settle.
Yeah, it is. We've loved it here. We've been encouraged by the people. We've been encouraged by even First Fridays, the events that are happening here. We're trying to get people to come together in the community, and so we felt very welcomed here. Let me ask you this: do you, on a personal note, do you have like any me being a new person to Americus? Any historical facts about Americus that you like sharing? Like when you go, people are like, tell me a little bit about Americus. Do you have a certain thing that you like to share?
Well, as far as historical, no, I don't have a whole lot of anything about the history of Americus, to be exact, you know. But downtown within itself is historical to me. Yeah. Because years ago, this was a pecan plant called Eli, this whole building here. Okay. When I was about 6 years old, my great-grandfather used to bring me to work. Wow. And they used to sit here and shell pecans. And I would sit on like a tote next to him. He wasn't supposed to be bringing me, but I would just cry so bad because I couldn't go. So every day he brought me to work with him, and I sat on that little tote and we would shell pecans. But it was called Eli. Okay. And that was I was 8 years old then. And he's been deceased probably over 50 years now. You know, so. Yeah. That's yeah, I mean, Americus has shifted and it's grown and it's none of this look like it look now. Yeah. I mean, it's been re-advised, redone, and it looks great. You know. But I remember that everything was historic back then. So this is a great part of the history of Americus. Well, let me ask you this: what do you hope to see in the future if there was money, if there was resources, if people came and invested? What would be some things that you would like to see even more? Employment, bigger place of employment, major industries. You know, because if you think about it, the only big place of employment that we have here is the hospital. And we have a plant out on Southern Field Road called Edenton. But other than that, other than the schools for the educators, there's no big places here for employment. You know, I think there would be more people that would settle here if it was more opportunity here. Yeah. I mean, I think, I would say that the hospitals and the school system, you know, a lot of opportunity there. They're always looking for, more and more people to come and be a part of that. But yeah, I see the city taking on a few, and there's, like you said, there's so many really amazing buildings downtown that, with a little bit of renovation and work through and getting to where it needs to get to, somebody can start their own business here. Right. Just like you of saying, hey, I'm going to take myself through this process, start a business, and I'm going to be right here downtown helping out. So. I say jump. Yeah. Jump. I love it. I love it. Well, let's do this. As we get ready, I'm new. I'm a new neighbor to the city. Tell me some things that would be helpful to me as far as just community. Where do you find community in the city? Well, as far as community, like here downtown, they are always having different functions here, like the Taste of Sumter. That might be something you would be interested in. Yeah. We have several outings on Fridays where the food trucks come in. If you like to eat, there's several different food trucks. They come in part and give people a chance to, to purchase different type of foods that they like to eat. Yeah. And we have many churches here that you can join. Yeah. If you're a Christian man, you like to go to church. Yeah. There are several many churches here that would be glad to have you. Yeah. Love it. We don't have a whole lot, but this is a nice community to live in. Yeah. And there's a lot of great people in this town. And I think you would fit in that category. Oh, that's awesome. Yes. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm encouraged by that. I love eating and I love fellowship. So it sounds like the right place to be. Right. Okay.
I love to do like rapid fire questions, just real quick questions to get a chance to know you a little bit more, and as we come to a close. But let me ask you this: what is your favorite song or music that you like to listen to?
Well, my favorite song is "It Was I Believe I Can Fly" by R. Kelly.
Okay.
You know, that was a song that I really liked. You know, it's not as popular now.
Yeah.
But I like that song.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a song that motivated me. I believe I can fly.
Yeah.
I believe I can touch the sky.
Yeah.
If you believe you can fly, you can fly.
Yeah.
You just got to spread your wings and fly.
That's great. That's great. All right. What's a favorite restaurant that you like to eat at?
Applebee's.
Applebee's. Nice.
Applebee's.
What do you normally do? You get like
their Bourbon Street chicken.
Okay.
With broccoli on the side, and I keep the onions and the mushrooms. Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right. Do you have a favorite sport that you like to watch or play, or?
Well, I'm not really into sports, but I do watch a little tennis.
Okay.
I love Venus Williams. Yes, I do.
Nice. Nice.
Yes, I do.
We got a little book about her story, and we read it to our children, and just very inspirational, very encouraging.
Amazing, yes.
Wow. If you don't know about her life, you definitely need to read about her. And her sister.
Amazing story.
All right, let me ask you this: what's your favorite family activity that you just like to do?
Well, every so often we have like a family night. Where we all get together and have like a little outing at the house game night, you know,
nice.
And just talk about what happened during the week, you know, discuss, you know, how was your day on Monday? How was your day on Tuesday? I love my family. I love being with my family. You know, I don't have many friends, you know, but I have a lot of associates. But my family, I just love my family. And my mother is my best friend. Oh, yes.
That is amazing. That is so good. That is so good. All right. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
I would go to Africa.
Okay. Why would you go to Africa?
Africa is a beautiful place. I've seen some pictures of it. I watched a lot of videos, and it's just a beautiful place. It is a place that I can just imagine myself being there. I love the culture. You know, I want to learn more about their culture and how they do things. Yeah. Africa would be my dream place. Yes. I've been a couple of places, but I haven't made it to Africa yet.
Yes, I know a couple people from Africa that are church planters, and I've met a couple of them. My son, who's 11, feels like he wants to go to Africa to live there, and so I'm going to try to get him an opportunity to go and just do like a little vision trip where he can kind of spend some time there and see if that's a short-term, long-term, mid-term thing. But I've only heard really great things about that.
I would love to go to Africa. Yes.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And I used to always think Africa was an ugly place, but it's beautiful.
Yes. All right. One more question. Because you're from Americus, I have asked this question to a few of our Americus-born natives here. And so the question is, like, I'm from Albany, so you call us Albanians.
Right.
But what do you call people from Americus?
Well,
or is there a name? Is there an official like nickname?
I've never heard of a nickname for Americus. Yeah. Most people say if you blink your eye, you'll miss it when you're passing through. But I've never heard a name for Americus.
All right.
Americus.
All right, I'm gonna throw one at you. I want you to tell me how it suits you. So I had a friend of mine that said that a good name would be an Americusian.
Well, it sounds a little funny, but it will work. It'll work. It sounds a little strange, but it'll work.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. so much for coming and spending time with us on this podcast. I get a chance to hear your story, just being encouraged again, just by the reality that there are so many amazing people in America. So like you said, people may blink their eye and go through. If you're going to Atlanta, you're probably going 75, you're probably going 85, but you can go 19. You can meet some really amazing people.
You will.
Be encouraged by that.
Uh-huh.
And so thank you so much for sharing your story and being with us.
My pleasure. It was a great honor. It was just a pleasure to be here.
All right.
And to get the chance to finally meet you.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. All right. We did it.